Hi, everyone. Welcome to Introduction to AI on-demand video. Are you ready? I want to set you up for success. I'm Hope Hartman. I'm an Executive Center Director at the Colorado SBDC Network, and I'm delighted to bring this information to you today. In case this is the first time you're interacting with the SBDC, we have three main pillars. We offer one-on-one, no-cost confidential advising, no-cost to low-cost practical business trainings, and business resource guidance. We're glad that you found us today. So this is how we're going to spend the next 20 minutes. I'm going to go over some terms and definitions. We're going to take a readiness assessment. I'll explain some business use cases for AI, your AI tool setup. I'll introduce you to the prompting framework, some cautions and considerations, and then additional resources. So a few definitions in case this is the first time you're really exploring AI. What is artificial intelligence? It's computer programs that can complete cognitive tasks typically associated with human intelligence. There's also what is called large language models, otherwise known as LLMs. This is a computer program trained on a set of data to recognize patterns and perform special tasks. So most AIs are part of large language models. Then we have generative AI that can generate new content such as text, code, images, and other media. And this is where a lot of our small business owners are exploring. And finally, human in the loop. This is a specific approach where it's a combination of machine and human intelligence to train, use, and verify to help refine AI models. I'm a big believer in human in the loop. These definitions are not my own. They are taken from the Google AI Essentials course. So are you ready? I truly believe thoughtful adoption can help across your operations, and I want to encourage you to scale smartly. So it may be that you start by crawling, then you walk, and then you run when you're ready for that. You can make your business ready to implement, and then you'll be able to gain a competitive advantage. So we're going to have an assessment to see, are you ready, right? That was my question on the opening slide. And there's 4 stages of AI adoption. It's awareness, consideration, adoption, and integration. So this is how this will work out. I have 10 questions for you. They will all look like this. There's a topic and 3 bullet points. You need to grab a paper or your phone or a post-it note or something to give yourself a score. There's 3 options under each topic. If it's the first bullet point that you answer, it's a 0. If it's the second bullet point, it's a 1. And if it's the third bullet point, it's a 2. I'm getting tongue twisted. Okay, so you're going to track across 10 items, 0, 1, or 2, and at the end, you'll add up those points. So if you need to stop this video and grab something to write with, or you can stop and start with each question, you work at your pace. So first, identify AI tools you currently use, and if none, please choose the first one, none. And out of curiosity and to keep track for yourself, if it's more than one, which tools are you using? 2, how many times do you use AI on a weekly basis? Never. 1 to 3 times, 4 or more times. 3, after entering the first prompt, how many times do you ask the AI for revisions or additional information? 4 or more times, 1 to 3 times, none. Now, I recognize if you're not using AI yet, you're going to think it's none. But when you don't have to prompt it further, that means you actually know how to craft a good prompt. So I know that one might be a little tricky. Just do the best you can. 5, can you name 3 generative AI tools? None. 1 to 2 tools, 3 tools. Number 6, can you name 3 content or graphics AI tools? None. 1 to 2 tools, 3 tools. Have you used AI in an area of finance? No. Yes, but not regularly. Yes, regularly or extensively. Number 8, what social media platforms are you on and have you used AI to help? So the first is you have no social media or no AI use with your social media. The second option, on social media but minimal AI use. And the third is regular AI use with your social media. Okay, we're almost done. Have you used AI automation anywhere in your business? No. Yes, but only for a few tasks. Yes, regularly across multiple tasks. 10. How often do you create videos using AI? Never, occasionally, regularly. Okay, I hope you've tracked your points, 0, 1, or 2 points for each question. And now we're going to reveal what your score tells you what stage of AI adoption you're at. So if you have 0 to 4 points, no problem. You have to start somewhere, right? You are at the awareness stage. So this is where you might start trying to identify use cases for your business. You're going to further your education, attend a webinar, maybe read an industry specific article to understand the benefits for your business. 5 to 9 points, you're at the consideration stage. So maybe you're exploring more options because you've started using something, you're comparing tools. Maybe you want to set up a demo or a trial account for future exploration for something that you're using at your business. 10 to 14 points, you are at the adoption stage, and thanks for coming to this particular webinar. You're choosing the right tool for your needs. Maybe you need to train yourself further or your staff, and you're starting to identify small projects before you scale up your AI efforts. And then 15 to 20 points, you are at the integration stage. So maybe now you're considering more operational workflows. That could include setting up an AI agent. You're reviewing AI's performance regularly, and you're conducting some periodic reviews to confirm the performance and your return on investment, your ROI. So I really believe it's about the human AI collaboration. I think AI supports human judgment. So you could look at AI as an assistant or a co-pilot that sits alongside you or a tool. Now, people are often asking, what are business use cases? I hear this all the time, and maybe people have started exploring or not even yet, and they're just still trying to grasp, like, why would I use it in my business? And certain industries question this even more, especially if they're really into human services or food services. They're trying to figure out what the point is. So this is literally a brainstorm list. All of these can be expanded to much greater detail and levels. Again, it kind of depends on what makes sense to you, where you're at today. So, remember, you're in control of this. You could use it for checklists. That's pretty easy. Or to develop some standard operating procedures. Oftentimes, these things live inside owners' heads, and you need to get them out to help. For example, the next one for onboarding and training materials, right? So, helping you with documentation, maybe creating some videos. You could use it for financial cash flow projections, a lot of scenario. What if this happened? What if this happened? What if I added employees? What if I lowered my expenses, right? It could also analyze your current financials to help you recognize some trends. Competitor analysis or even market trends with your key target market. It can generate a lot of marketing content on a variety of platforms. And then sales pipeline workflow, and also even helping develop customer personas to make sure you are reaching your target market by appealing to the people you're trying to reach the most. Okay, so just a few ideas. That's not really what this class is about, but I just want to really get your wheels turning, especially if you're open to using AI. Mostly let the strategy lead you, not the technology trend. Okay, what's your why for AI? Are you trying to save time? Or do you like to be innovative? Or you have new team members that are curious about it? And with that, who will learn it and who will monitor it? Is it all on you? Are you the only one? Is this really for certain members of your team? And then again, what's that return on investment for you, right? Because if you're investing, whether it's time, money, or effort, you want to make sure that it makes sense for your business. So, one thing people that when they're new to AI, they might not realize that there is usually a settings area with any tool. This is just a screenshot. You know, these tools change a lot, but it will give you the gist. So, this is a screenshot from Chat GPT. It's under the settings, general. There's a personalization area. So this allows you to establish the tone for your business, right? Characteristics. You can give custom instructions. You can tell it more about yourself for this particular business use, right? Maybe your role, your culture, all of that. One other thing that is on the slide in front of you is you can also say turn off the model. So if you, most of the platforms have this option. If you don't turn off the model, whatever you're putting into the AI tool is going into the data set. You are increasing the data set. So if you don't mind that, just leave it alone. If you don't want it to train the model, you'll want to just say turn off the model because maybe you do something really special and there's not a lot of competitors and you don't want a bunch of people finding out about it. Okay, now this is really key. Good prompts equal good outputs. And most people I've encountered that have had a negative experience with AI, the truth is they didn't know how to prompt at the time. So there are 6 elements to a good prompt. This is the prompting framework. We call it the MVP, not to be confused with the minimum viable product or the most valuable player. It's the minimum viable prompt. And these are the 6 elements it contains: the role, clear task or goal, the context, the audience, format and length, and constraints or preferences. So I want to give you a few examples. The role, you are telling the AI. You could say, I am a business owner. I need, right, before you get into that specific task or goal. Or as an assistant or as a thought partner, you are telling the AI, you are a marketing strategist. You are a funding strategist. You are giving it the role to perform so it knows how to give you useful output. And then you're being very clear with what you want. I need 3. I need a paragraph. I need a blog. Very specific. Give it some context. What is your business, right? And you can, the tools will start to know your business profile, but at the beginning, you might need to explain, I need posts for a big festival we're going to hold, and I want to post 3 times a day for the week leading up to the event. Who is the audience, right? Is it your customers? Is it partners? Is it potential funders? The format and length, right? So if you're using it, let's say for social media, you can say, I need 3 posts for Instagram. I do not want to exceed X amount of characters. I need 3 hashtags, no emojis or 1 emoji. Very specific. And then constraints or preferences. So you can say, I want a campaign like this. Here's an example, but now I'm planning for the next season. So take all references to this season out and replace it with the next season. Or I want to avoid, so you're going to make it straight, certain words that you don't want used that maybe don't match to your culture. And all of these refinements will help produce a better output. Okay, with any AI tool, there are always cautions and considerations to keep in mind. One is privacy and security. Please be mindful of client or customer data or sensitive information, whether it's to who you serve, you, your team members, your partners, confidential information, absolutely no intellectual property or trade secrets. You do not want to put these things, even if you say turn off the model, you are still putting data into a tool that's owned by a company. So it's going somewhere. And here's something a lot of people won't tell you. You can't delete anything that you put into AI, so just remember that. There are biases in the AI models. So remember at the beginning, the definitions they're these large language models. They're looking for patterns. They're accessing all kinds of public resources. And some of those resources have biases in them. And that's again why you need the human in the loop to review everything that it produces. And that allows you to edit it and revise, or if you need to further refine the prompt. There's different techniques with prompting that it's designed to few shot prompting to keep prompting it on purpose, right? But there's some systematic biases, so that human oversight is essential. And then the other thing is staff training and over reliance. So first of all, you don't want to just tell team members start using AI, we need to keep up. Nope. Everyone needs to upskill, everyone needs to learn. There's a lot of free materials on online resources so you can effectively work with AI. And then you don't want to delegate critical human decisions to the machine. So that's over reliance, where you lose your voice or lose that personal touch, or everything becomes very generic. So again, a few things for you to consider as you consider where you're at, what stage you're at, and how you want to move forward. So again, coming back to that, the importance of the human in the loop, we're all learning by doing. Everyone needs to upskill across industries, across roles. We need to keep growing. And that's part of why the SBDC is here for you, is to help continue for you to grow personally and professionally. But remember, with AI, the human is in control. Despite what you might see out there or hear on the news, the human is in control. AI learns from the patterns. And again, I just mentioned it analyzes large data sets. But the difference is all that information, it processes it so rapidly. And that's the real game changer, especially when you're trying to save time. And you can also ask the AI for the resources it used. So especially when people use this for research, You can say, and cite the resources. And then you can check to make sure that those are real and it wasn't some hallucination or something that the AI made up. More resources for you to consider. There's a lot of community meetups depending on where you live. There are online forums that are free to join, and a lot of those do monthly webinars and group discussions. There's tons of podcasts. One in particular is How to AI. There's so many out there. All you have to do is search AI as a subject. And then, of course, with SBDC, we have more on-demand AI classes. We do conduct virtual classes, and we have learning labs. Those are often conducted in person, but possibly also online in the future to give you some real hands-on experience and build things that are useful for you and your business. One final note, your success is newsworthy. We're always looking for success stories, and I feel like our clients don't know that enough. As you know, everything is confidential when you work with an advisor, but if you really notice that it has moved the dial by taking classes, working with an advisor, we would love to showcase you as a future success story. And then we do publish you on our website, in our newsletter, and social media. So please don't be shy to raise your hand saying, hey, I think I've made a lot of headway, and I'm happy if you let people know that I worked with the SBDC. And I want to thank you for your time and watching this video. I wish you the best success on your AI journey. Again, I'm on the journey with you. I want to thank my sponsors and specifically Elevations Credit Union in the city of Loveland. They specifically want to support AI education for our small business owners. So thank you and enjoy your learning.